After a year like 2020, where everything has been a battle, it's always wonderful to have a heartwarming story to share with you. Joining me today is Albert Thacker, a Jeopardy champion, and one that has gone viral for the most beautiful reason. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Natalie, and to everyone watching at home. I appreciate you watching us.
So first of all, let me start by saying congratulations on the Jeopardy win. That's an incredible feat in and of itself.
Thank you very much.
So after the show was done taping and you had won the episode, you shared an incredible moment with Alex Trebek.
The new champion, 20,400 for Bert Thacker. Any family members back home cheering you on?
You know, here's a true story, man. I learned English because of you. And so my grandfather, who raised me, I'm gonna get tears right now. I used to sit on his lap and watch you every day. So it's a pretty special moment for me, man. Thank you very much.
So had you planned to share that story with Alex Trebek when you went into filming?
No, it was just, it's one of those moments where I didn't even know the cameras were on. And when he asked me that question, it just took me off guard. And all of a sudden I felt the need to share that with him. To me, winning Jeopardy was my white whale. And then to have an opportunity to speak to somebody and to share a gift that they had given me, even though he was a complete stranger, was one of those great moments in life. And the amount of empathy and love that's rippled outward from it has been tremendous.
And it doesn't show it in the clip, but what was Alex's response? Well,
he was genuinely taken aback. It was something that just came completely out of the blue. It wasn't even a question that he had asked, and I don't know why I felt compelled to share something that was so personal to me, but I did. And in a sense, it was, you know, for him, I could tell that it really affected him deeply in a good way. And all the producers and everyone, I mean, there wasn't a dry eye in that entire house, including mine. And so it was a very special moment.
And the irony is that your episode ended up airing 4 days before Alex actually passed after an incredibly brave battle with pancreatic cancer. Do you think that's made this moment more special, and do you think that's part of why the clip has gone so viral?
That's, you know, those are amazing questions, and I've thought about the extent of all the synchronicity and everything for the last couple weeks. My show was actually the last show that was aired before he died. So the way that clip kind of went viral was it was released by the Jeopardy producers on a Thursday night, and it blew up. It took on a life of its own. After the next day, Huffington Post wrote an article. My second episode aired that Friday, and Sunday morning he died. So it was just this tremendous confluence of synchronicity and timing and just at that time in the United States, we were going through the end of the election day. So a lot of people had all these things on their mind. And there was this story that was about family, that was about a connection to being a kid again, that I think resonated with so many people. And I can't begin to tell you how many messages I received that were saying, hey, I used to do the same thing when I was a kid. Ajit Pai, the director of the FCC, reached out, and he said, I did the exact same thing. It brought me back to childhood. I had people who were saying they were going to call their grandparents, and other people saying they were going to call their kids, their moms, up and down, connecting back to family. I had people who reached out to me who said they were going to forgive people for voting Democrat. Others saying they were going to forgive voting people for voting Republican. I mean, I think part of the reason why it went so viral, once again, I don't have any idea why people watch certain things, but I'd like to believe it's because it was a moment that connected people to things that mattered the most, which is a memory of childhood and a memory of family. And I had an incredible gift. I had an incredible opportunity that was given to me to thank someone who had such a profound impact on my life. But also for me, what it's done over the last couple of weeks, it brought back so many memories of me growing up and being a child, and my grandfather and the lessons that he taught me, that, you know, it's just, it's been, if there was ever a sign of the divine in my life, this is definitely a key moment.
I have to say, hearing your story took me back to my own childhood for a slightly different reason, but yet similarly aligned. My grandmother was a Polish immigrant to Australia, and she learned how to speak English watching cartoons. Wasn't quite Alex Trebek, but there are these little things that help people in such a huge way, and things that we wouldn't necessarily think of. I saw you talking in another interview about an incredible message from your dad after news broke that Alex had passed.
Natalie, you're good. Yeah, when I first heard the news that Alex died, I was driving through a part of Oregon that doesn't have any cell phone signal. So I exited this valley, and all of a sudden my phone gets message after message after message. I pull it over, I talk to someone, and I was in a state of shock. And then just the emotion of the situation hit me. The emotion of having a personal moment spread to the world, the emotion of the last couple of days, and then boom. And I got a text from my father that said, you know, maybe now Alex is up in heaven with your grandfather, and they're talking about you. They're having a little chuckle. And I'll tell you, it kind of felt like that a little bit, because, you know, you described your grandmother, right? About how she learned English while watching cartoons. And the thing is we tend to enjoy certain voices. We just do. That's why you like certain singers. That's why you like the sounds of certain instruments. For me, learning English was a challenge because American English was too fast. It was too slow. It had too many accents. Sesame Street had all these different voices. Some were squeaky. And for some reason, that even tonal pace of Trebek's voice was something that anchored in my head. And for me, my grandfather was my biggest champion. He was my rock. He taught me about everyone from Hannibal to Alexander the Great, all the way down to calculus, to poetry, to how to kick a soccer ball. He thought I could do anything I ever wanted to do. And after he died, there was a huge hole in my heart that felt that it just wasn't going to get filled. I really felt alone for a long time. And at that moment, during that clip, I remembered his face for the first time. That's why I'm saying, for me, this was a bit of it was as if, you know, the feeling that I have now is that I was never alone the entire time. And to have an opportunity like this, not only to get on, but to have a voice and a message get heard by so many people, and to see that ripple outward change people, it's a testament to my grandfather. And so that message really made me realize that perhaps we die, perhaps there are things that happen, perhaps there's an afterlife, perhaps there's not. All I can say is that in my life, the synchronicity, the coincidence, the whatever of the timing, call it what you want, but for me, there is no greater proof of the divine and the permanence of energy, especially one that was bound with such love as the events that happened.
I think this is such a wonderful story, especially as 2020 comes to a close, for so many reasons. For the fact that you've showed so many people that you should have these ridiculous goals to aspire to and strive to achieve, because you managed to get there. You are a Jeopardy champion, which, you know, is incredible in and of itself, but you've spread this beautiful message of unity and love. And you're also forever intertwined in the Jeopardy story and family, but also with Alex Trebek, who, you know, was such a mentor to you, even though he may not have been aware of it until the end. So it's so incredibly special, and that was why we wanted to have you on the show. But moving forward, what is next after this whirlwind kind of slows down? What will you get up to?
At this point, perhaps there's different avenues to this, but if I can inspire people to realize that they're bigger than themselves, and that people can, the only way that you're not going to achieve something is if you don't give it a shot. And if I can have an opportunity to continue spreading a message that I truly believe in, which is, you know, there's 60 miles of fluid between us and death. And by the end of this century, there's a high likelihood that the first human being will be born in space. And what's going to keep us bound to each other when there are astronomical units of distance between us? So I don't know where I'm going to end up, but I'd like to believe that it's in some sort of capacity that can help people realize that the greatest miracle that we truly have is each other. And we have to let go of hate, and we have to come up with common solutions that benefit all of us and get us to a level where we start having true empathy for each other.
What a beautiful way to end it. Albert Thacker, thank you so much for joining us on The Informer.
Thank you so much for having me, Natalie, and to everyone at home. Do me a favor, just, you don't know me, but just be kind to someone else today. Thank you.